and now you're going to hear about Fort Delaware. It's probably one of Delaware's least known treasures. However, it's probably best known as being a Civil War prison camp and has been called the Andersonville of the North. Here to tell us about this state treasure, we have Raymond Armstrong, who is Park Superintendent, and Bill Craven, who is President of the Fort Delaware Society. Bill, Ray, welcome to Focus Delaware.
Greetings.
Bill, we'll start off with you. Now, Pea Patch Island, that's sort of a strange-sounding name.
Yes.
Where does that come from?
According to legend, there was a ship loaded with peas that foundered on a sandbar.
Oh, I see.
And the peas took root in the sand, and the island was born, and that's how it got its name.
When was Fort Delaware built, Bill?
Fort Delaware, the present fort, the construction was started in 1848 and finished in 1859, just before the Civil War began.
And what was it used for?
It was to defend the Delaware River Valley. Actually, it was used as a prison camp in the Civil War, and that's what it's most noted for.
But originally it was built to defend the Delaware Valley.
Yes.
Ray, could you give us a little bit about the Civil War history? I know you know quite a bit about that. I know it was a prison for Confederate prisoners.
Yes, there was, in a 3-year period, approximately 36,000 prisoners held at the fort. Over 2,600 died at the fort. And the ones who died at the fort were taken off the island and buried at Finn's Point in New Jersey.
I see. Is there any other historical significance to the fort?
Yes, after the Civil War had a reawakening in 1896, it was rearmed with 12-inch disappearing cannons, the modern armament of that time.
Bill, what kind of restoration work has been going on there?
Well, the Society has some volunteers over there now, brick pointing. There are approximately 25 million bricks there that need some pointing, so that's a long-time job. The state recently passed a bond issue as a bicentennial project. They cleaned out the moat. They built a new access road, new piers, and a new office for the Raymond and his staff. And also, we've got a VOTEC group working over there this summer, doing some restoration work, opening up a room that's been sealed since 1896.
Oh, great. Ray, as Park Superintendent, perhaps you could tell us about what's over there other than just the fort.
Well, there's the boat ride, which is an enjoyable ride. It's about a mile from Delaware City to the island. There's one of the largest heronries on the eastern shore out there.
A heronry?
Yes, it has ibis, great blues, little blues, Louisiana blues, and you have a spectacular view of the channel which the tall ships passed by recently.
Oh, I bet that was spectacular. Bill, what else does the Fort Delaware Society do? You're the president, of course.
Yes, we're most active. We maintain a museum. We've established and maintain a museum in the fort. We do research on the history of the fort. We answer inquiries of people concerning relatives who are imprisoned there. We publicize the fort. We publish documents about the fort. We just published a book called A Fort Delaware Journal, which is the diary of a Yankee private who served there all through the Civil War period.
Bill, when are the hours of the fort, and how do you get there? I don't think you could walk or drive there too easily.
Oh, no, you must go by boat. It's open on Saturday, Sundays, and holidays to the general public from 11 a.m. in the morning until 6 p.m. in the afternoon, from the last weekend in April to the last weekend in September. It's opened during the week by special arrangement to special groups, such as school groups.
I see. Now, is the entire fort open to the general public?
No, it is not. Some sections of the fort have never been opened because they were partially destroyed by vandals and scavengers during the period from 1945 to the early 1950s when the fort was unattended.
Ray, how about if you take us on a tour now of Fort Delaware? I know we've brought along some nice shots of folks of the fort, and we'd like to see them now.
Glad to.
In a moment we'll be seeing them. What's this?
This is after you get off the dock, and you'll catch a jitney here that will take you to the fort, so the handicapped and people do not have to walk. There's the aerial view
Spectacular.
of the fort, and you're looking in the southerly direction right now. This is the charter boat Miss Kathy, owned by the state. It's licensed for 49 people. It's leaving a little channel going out to the island. This is a shot from the corner bastion looking down at the moat, the drawbridge, the main entrance to the fort. This is one of the field pieces in the courtyard. It's donated by one of the foundations.
Great restoration work.
There's the same field piece looking across the courtyard at the casemates. It's 2 stories, and each casemate had a cannon in it. This is one of the corner bastions, and it's a pentagon shape, and these bastions could shoot parallel with the front of the fort. And this is looking across the 1896 edition. Concrete is the 1896, and the brick is the Civil War period.
Those walls look pretty impregnable.
Yes, they were. This is the basis for the Rodman cannons, and it's also the 3rd story of the administration building. This is one of the reenactment groups that come out and puts the shows on. And it's in July and August with the 100% wool uniforms. This lady's cooking over an open fire, one of the camp followers.
Just as they would in the day.
Yes, sir. This is the finished product, cornbread. And they'll cook it in the courtyard and serve it to the reenactors. And this is the new Arc Drum and Fife. They'll come out 3 or 4 times a year and put a good show on for us. This is the reenactors sitting around a live-in visual demonstration. You can see them with their knives and Civil War hardware there. We do have the largest heronry on the eastern shore. It's been estimated from 12 to 13,000 birds there, and half a dozen on the endangered species list.
Well, it's quite an assortment of activities and views that one might get if they're over at Fort Delaware.
Yes, it's quite a variety.
Now, Ray, what are the hours again?
Saturdays and Sundays and holidays from 11 in the morning till 6 in the afternoon, and the boat will run 3 to 4 trips an hour.
And how much does it cost?
$2.50 for adults and $1.25 for children 14 and under.
Well, that sounds like a real bargain.
Yes, it is.
Bill, Ray, I want to thank you for being on Focus Delaware.
Oh, you're quite welcome. We're happy to be here.
This has been Bill Craven. He's the president of the Fort Delaware Society, and Raymond Armstrong. He's the superintendent of Fort Delaware, and they've been on to tell us about this exciting Delaware State treasure. And I hope you all get an opportunity to go out to Fort Delaware and visit this very nice historical site.